All right, I'm pushing the pile. We don't just have day one covered for you. We have day two covered for you, but also day three, sleepers, UDFAs. We go deep here at CBS Sports. Emory, day three players. Obviously, day two is tonight, Friday night, but we're not going to get to talk to you guys before Saturday kicks off early, and we get those 3 rounds at the end. 4 rounds, excuse me. Yikes. Who are you looking for on day three? Who's the guy who's going to come off the board in that range? And people are going to be looking back and saying, how did he last that long?
Andy Dalton 2.0, right? And we're talking about Brady Cook out of Missouri. Both are about 6'2", 215. Both are super athletic. Cook had 21 rushing touchdowns at Missouri, over 1,200 yards rushing as well. Touchdown to interception ratio is crazy. Was banged up a bit this year. But when you talk about someone that has the grit, moxie, the toughness, all of those things that you look for in a quarterback, he can start out as your QB2, but we've seen guys since COVID need their QB2 to step in and play 2 to 3 games. This is one of those players where he can step in, play really well, and then the next team will garner his services as their starter. But I think Brady Cook is a very, very much a sleeper here on day three, including Riley Mills of Notre Dame, right? We saw him play really well, got injured. I think people forgot how good he was playing for that Notre Dame defense, and those 2 guys to me are going to be steals on day 3.
Brady Cook, I can't wait till he gets drafted and the broadcast describes him as sneaky athletic because, well, he's not sneaky athletic if you watch the tape. The guy is just athletic, man. The guy can roll. And what I love about him is that at the Shrine Bowl, I was talking to some of the scouts there, and they're like, the guys gravitate towards him. Like in a setting like that, where you're only around other players for a few days, you know, he said within hours of being there, he was the guy that people were going to. That's the kind of presence you're getting in the locker room. At the quarterback position, you know, maybe if you're a running back and you're standoffish and don't have that, who cares? Like, if you can ball, you can ball. At the quarterback position, that stuff matters. Like, you need to be that guy in a locker room, and Brady Cook most certainly is. My guy at the quarterback position, though, that I'm going to go Dylan Gabriel, the Oregon quarterback. Not just the Oregon quarterback. The guy was at Oklahoma, too. The guy was at UCF, too. He's been in college football for forever. He's actually the most experienced college football quarterback of all time. He has 63 career starts at the collegiate level. Been starting since his true freshman year of high school. Is the Hawaiian all-time leader in passing yards. There is not a more experienced quarterback to ever hit the NFL. But I am bearing the lead a little bit here. He is 5'10 and a half. He is very undersized. But I just watch his tape, and I'm like, the guy can handle the NFL. He may not be elite, but he's similar to like your Brock Purdy's, your Russell Wilson's, and maybe not to that level. Wilson was much more accurate. But he's one of your day 3 quarterbacks that if all of a sudden he gets poked into, you know, someone goes down, he gets thrown into a starting role, I think that guy's going to be able to handle an NFL offense. It might not be elite, but I think he's going to be a capable starter at the NFL level.
This is what I hate about the NFL process, right? Because what you just laid out, that has to count for something, right? 60-plus games, high-level football. Obviously, he's been 5'10 his whole life and has been super productive. Find a way to get him in your organization as your QB2 and find a role for him to have success. I'm with you. Like, I think guys like that should be able to play in the National Football League.
I love putting him behind Bryce Young, behind Kyler Murray, just like any of the sub-6-foot quarterbacks, or even like the 6-footers, where you're kind of having to adjust your offense for some height limitations. Mm-hmm. If he's your backup, you can do the exact same stuff with him. My other guy, another undersized, he at least hit the 6-foot threshold. So his, hinge profile actually isn't a lie. David Walker, the Central Arkansas defensive end. This guy at 6 foot, 263, his tape is utterly absurd. You watch the purple and black turf there at Central Arkansas. It's a little hard to watch, but the tape is very easy to watch because he is so dominant. Some of the most dominant tape I think I've ever seen from a defensive lineman. Level of competition was a concern, but he went to the Senior Bowl, and when he wanted to bull rush guys in the one-on-one, they went backwards. Anthony Belton, 345-pound offensive tackle from North Carolina State, looked like he was on ice skates going backwards. So I think that capability is going to translate to the NFL when you're that low to the ground, when you have that kind of leverage and that kind of explosiveness. We'll see, but it's a weird body type. Probably ends up on day 3, but he's one of my favorites in this class.
Buck Buchanan Award winner, which is the top defensive player in the FCS. Phenomenal talent.
Now is the time where we're going to talk about guys that you may never have heard of. And we're with the king of deep scouting, Emory Hunt. So, Emory, I can't wait for this. Who's your biggest sleeper UDFAs? We're going to give 2 apiece. Who's your biggest sleeper UDFAs in this draft class?
Cheating a little bit here, Mike, because I'm starting with a guy I virtually called his entire career at Morgan State. I do a lot of their color analyst work over there. And so Elijah Williams set the Morgan State sack record, which is outstanding. He broke Christopher Robinson's record. And what's fascinating about Williams, he's a defensive tackle. He's 6'2", 300 pounds, but he can line up from the 9 down to the nose. He started as an outside linebacker, kind of developed and grew into a defensive tackle, crazy sack production. There was one game in particular against Norfolk State where on first down, was a crucial part of the game. First down, TFL. Second down, sack. Third down, ball bat at the line of scrimmage. And so he set the tone for that defense, went down to the HBCU Legacy Bowl and killed it there. Every rep, first rep he went up against a different offensive lineman, they ended up on their back. No lie, and I'm dead serious how dominant he was there. So he is someone that's going to find a way on a roster. And how about this? Carson Newman, the Division II program, Major Williams, defensive back. And the reason why I'm bringing him up, he had a really good Hula Bowl week. He actually was supposed to go to the College Gridiron Showcase, but got the call up to the Hula Bowl. Fantastic week there. But not only is he a guy that has great ball skills, he's one of the best punt returners in the draft class. His freshman season, not freshman season, but in 2022, 32.9 yards a punt return. Not kick return, punt return. So teams got smart. They started to kick away from him, but he still found the football and still had a healthy 13 to 14 yards per punt return average. So we talk about special teams, day 3 undrafted free agents. How can you make your impact? This is how you can. And Major Williams stepped up in a major way. That's a record reference right there. E40, for you, Mike, to go do your Googles. But yeah, Major Williams is one of the fantastic punt returns in the class.
I love when you talk sleepers, Emery, because I know for a fact that they're sleepers. I know that there are names that are not on my radar that I have never heard before, but usually I know where they went to school. When you said Carson Newman, I thought that was his name. I have not heard of Carson Newman before in my life. Couldn't tell you where that is. Do you know where it is?
It's in North Carolina.
Where is it?
It's in Carolinas.
There you go. All right. I did not know that. So Elijah Williams, Major Williams, your sleepers there at DT and DB, respectively. I'm going to my 2 because I can't add too much more on those guys. You watch them? I have not. I'm going to go with Easton Kilty as my first one. Kansas State left tackle from a year ago. 9 pressures all season long. This guy was a North Dakota State transfer, and get this, Gray Zabel, he went 18th overall. Kilty was starting over him back in 2021 for North Dakota State. Now, he is nowhere near the athlete that Zabel is. That's why he goes the first round, and Zabel got a lot better over the course of his career. Not bashing Zabel whatsoever, but I think Kilty is a guy who can be a spot backup who can maybe kick inside to the interior at guard or center and give you some competent play as either a UDFA or a very late round pick. He's just not the athlete that usually goes high. Over 5 seconds in the 40. But when you watch him on tape, his hands are so good. He moves well, even if he's not explosive on the offensive line position. My other guy, though, kind of the opposite end of the spectrum, he's explosive as can be. It's Aiden Huntington out of Tulane. Now, you might not love him because obviously Louisiana Monroe is where his previous stop was before he transferred. Had 45 pressures there before transferring Tulane. A freaky body type, a freaky athlete. He's 6 foot, 281. So think about that for a second. 6 foot, 281, that's like Aaron Donald size. He ran a 4.6 440, had a 38-inch vertical, 10.6 broad jump, and had 30 bench press reps. The guy is tuned up as can be. Now he's a little stiff. He played off the edge, but could be an interior guy in the NFL if he had some mass. I think for a late round guy, who he will go late round if he gets drafted at all, he's an interesting prospect. Have you watched those guys, Emery? I assume you have.
Oh, absolutely. And I was about to say for Hutchinson, he was at the College Gridiron Showcase and going through the one-on-one drills. I talked to a friend of mine that was sitting next to me. I was like, he has defibrillator hands because as soon as he got him on the offensive lineman, he moved back 5 spots. I was like, goodness, bro. And so to see him there, and then while we were on these shows, we saw the pro day numbers come in. It was like, oh, wow. He did what on the bench? He did what in the vertical in that body? So, yeah, that's Tulane has a knack for finding these squatty, 6 feet, 6'1", 260, 270 edge guys. They just have a factory down there, and they're eating good because of where they're located in proximity to Frost Top across the street, which always sees me at the HBCU Legacy Bowl. Great hamburgers over there.